what the heck is he talking about?
You're
So
like, who is he? What is he
what's
doing?
he randomly talking about fixing internet? What is he okay? So what kind of work do you do, sir? First off,
So I'm in information technology.
yes.
I've spent better half of a quarter century doing that, and that's really it. I wish I had something really exciting to say, but I don't. But I want to thank you for being in the comments last night.
And why is that, sir? I felt that I was respectful. You know, I was singing Caribbean Queen to myself.
Well, last night was. I think you were correct when you said it kind of felt like our previous platform where we had a lot of community, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people jumping in and trying to recreate that. That was, I think, the strongest part of the of Haps.
Right.
So a lot of fun, a lot of like I said, um I was on um Carmen's broadcast. I mean, it was her
Yes.
platform.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like reading the comments were a little hard, but the comments were just flying through.
Right. And a show like that, not it's not my show.
Yeah.
Not my show. But when you have differences of opinions
Hmm.
and you have different lifestyles,
Yes.
and you know and I know the internet is forever.
Yes.
And if I'm a real ass and I decide to take a snippet
Hmm.
of people swearing or an inappropriate comment,
Hmm.
that could mean in the future you don't get that job.
Correct. It's
And
forever.
it is forever.
It's
And the coach from the Buffalo Bills has recently realized that associating terrorist organizational groups and their systems are very similar and should be celebrated in the NFL did not go over.
I think he's done.
If he was in, say, Jets territory, or the
Gone.
Giants, which are not so giant this year,
Right.
I think they'd be going, thank you. We wish you well.
It's
Ha- have a good day.
Mike,
Now,
it's
we
a
all make
fireable
mistakes.
offense.
Yeah. But here's the thing. That's the segue. I feel like we're losing. So when you do social media
Hmm.
and you care about the people in the room,
Hmm.
it is not wise to have the comments up, especially if you know there is friction, because things can be said. And when you put them in the broadcast and someone doesn't like you, they can take that, manipulate, put it the comment here, and it can be on TikTok. Suddenly, this broadcast that got 100 maybe total views suddenly has 7.5 million views
Yep.
because someone said something racist or inappropriate, or someone did some goofy laugh or swore too much. I'm glad they don't have access to our old karaoke.
um, the old carrier, the previous
Was the Wild
platform,
West. The Wild
it
Wild
was
West.
really the Wild West.
The Wild Wild West.
You know, but we missed you last night. But it was in your name. I paid homage to you
Did
by
you?
stirring the pot last night.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And for those who don't know what stirring the pot is, that is when you go into a broadcast that is, let's say, boring, kind of like this one is, and someone comes in and stirs or pushes buttons. 179. Oh, they don't like that. 1793. Oh my God, they're losing their mind. 17933333333. I think they fell over. You can learn this technique.
I learned from the best. But it's as always, it's good to see you.
It's always good to see you. You are great lighting today, coming in perfectly. You're not
Yeah.
fading in or fading out. So it must make a difference of the person who is running the broadcast. No, no shade, Tony. No shade, brother.
Well,
That's
I'm not.
there. There's an
That's
example.
staring.
There,
That's staring.
right there. We did that only for a visual effect.
I don't use a green screen.
No, but you don't need a green screen. No, but I mean, like the lighting on your face is good.
Oh yeah.
But Hans is considering coming back up again. I was talking to him the other day. I really thought maybe I annoyed him, but he said no. He's just busy.
Yeah.
He's crazy busy. So it'll be great if we get him up. I would love to have you up as well. Now, what I'm doing next week is you're going to start seeing individuals from Twitter Spaces that are not used to being on camera.
That's going to be a big shift.
Because, and I tried to explain this today on Twitter Spaces. I said I have a friend named Tony D, and he tried Twitter Spaces, and I have other friends that tried it, and we're like, no, I need to see the visual cues of the people in the room. Like, you read people too. I know you do.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a benefit. What do you prefer? You would much rather see, right?
So you got to remember, we've podcasted for many, 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 many years.
Yes.
So this just adds the extra layer to it. Because, you know, when you're having a conversation, whether, and this is from back when we were doing podcasting on freeconferencecall.com or something like that. You know, this or whatever platform you're using. This just adds that human element, that connection. So you could see if I'm BSing you, you're like, come on, Ted. You know, so this is so much better. But if, you know, for some people, they might only be comfortable with, you know, doing audio.
What do you think that is? Because I've been saying to people, this is one of the things I said was, imagine you go into a broadcast and instantly you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, you're on Twitch, you're on LinkedIn, you're on, you know, whatever platforms you want to be on. And I said, if you're able to link two of yours, and let's say there's 5 or 6 guests, and they're all linking to, I said, it reminded me of the old Shampoo.
Yes.
And they told 2 friends, and they told 2 friends. And,
yes.
And that's kind of what we did on Habs.
It is. It is. You know, it was such a great platform that, I mean, you know, I know a lot of people, it rubbed people the wrong way and all this other type of stuff. And, you know, some people were acting irrational and everything else like that. But it was really a great platform to make that connection at that time frame around, where were we, like 2020, 2021?
I don't know. It seemed like a lifetime ago. And I still see the broadcast. And every once in a while, they'll play them on Facebook because I used to put them on Facebook. And now I get, Warner Brothers would like you to please take that down.
Yeah.
Because we were playing music. We were playing, you know.
Like you said, it was Wild Cowboys.
Yeah. So I'll get these. And I'm like, I haven't played music in a while. What are they talking about? So if you look in the corner here, we have, because we do a spiritual twist too. So I'm going to use you while we're here.
Okay.
The bad news, time flies. The good news, you are the pilot. How do you in your life navigate, you know, I've got to get another question. This is perfect for you too. How do you navigate bad news in your life? And then I'll ask you the next question.
How do you navigate the bad news? I mean, I'm not good with, you know, dealing with it. So I just had death in the family when one of my uncles just passed, and I'm going to the service on Wednesday, and I'm like, it's just, you know, it kind of just hits you in the gut. But my one of my uncles, he was 94.
Yes.
So lived a very long life fruitful and was a good person. So I can be happy about that. I could be happy about the relationship we had.
Mhm.
But sad that he's no longer there. There's that level of bad news.
Yeah.
And then there's the other bad news is, hey, I stubbed my toe while I was walking to the bathroom at 4:30 in the morning because my bladder was, about to give out.
Right.
It's just, you got to take the bad with the bad. It's I don't know. I don't have that, that answer. It's something I got to think about.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
For me, I always look at life as this kind of matrix, this game. We're playing a game, and I'm in a tough level. And if you're playing, back in the day, let's say you're playing Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
You never said, "Oh, Mike, you're an F up." You just kept trying. And I wish people would look at life more as a game, and that you're going to fail, and part of the success is that suffering. And you become a better person, I think, through the suffering. I think you can also learn valuable lessons through others. Really wise people go, you know what, maybe I won't do that. Because I've seen the outcome of that. Yeah, maybe drinking and driving is not a good idea. Yes, or maybe while I'm drinking and driving, I shouldn't have my boss's wife with me. Maybe that's not a good idea. Yeah, you see what I'm saying, and I'm using that because a friend of mine, that actually happened.
Really?
Yes.
He was with his boss's wife.
Yes, in his car, and he demolished the car. Mm-hmm. And he was distracted in the car. If you get my drift.
He was distracted in the car.
He was distracted in the car. He was visually impaired.
I see where this is going.
Yes. So we always have to focus on the prize. We have to look at how things affect us. And we're kind of doing full circle right now, is that when you do social media, you're going to have people, and today we had people crying on Twitter Spaces. I could hear them.
Really?
Because people had said mean things. And I said, 80% of the people that used to come into my broadcast were okay with me. 10% really liked me, and 10% would like to throw me off the bridge.
Hey, Rich.
Rich, how are you, buddy? Do you want to come in up and say hi for a second? We would love to have you here, unless you still have your generator going. Did you hear about that?
Rich was, yeah, I did.
Yes.
Listen, I enjoy, and I know he kind of blushes from time to time.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching Rich Roberts in the morning because that's usually when I'm commuting to work.
You used to do that with me.
Yes.
It used to make my day. You used to tell me, I would sometimes put certain music on for you and go, all right, this is for the button pusher himself, Ted Hicks.
When you did the morning show, yes.
Yes, and I would send things out to you and Tony D would sometimes come up.
Yep.
It was crazy.
I mean, that's the great thing about it, where you can make that connection, and it's, I don't think you need, of course, people want to have millions upon millions of viewers and listeners and stuff like this. But if you make that one connection with a couple of people, and they get into that routine, and that habit starts, and they know your show is coming on, around a certain time.
Can you introduce this next individual? He's formerly known as a fireman, and he's rich in personality. Here you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have none other, hailing from upstate New York.
Yes.
The southern tier of upstate New York.
The southern tier of upstate New York.
Yes.
Richard, the fireman, Robert.
Thank you, guys. Michael, I've been on. We only had. We're only on generator that one day when they were putting the new service. We upped our service from a 100 amp to a 200 amp.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that was just a one-day thing. That was something that's a major upgrade to this old house and stuff. But good morning. I just finished my broadcast. I was gaming there on Guild Wars. Man, I was just that game is just eye candy. My God, it just.
Yes.
But Ted was in there, and now I know why Ted wasn't in it, because I was inviting Ted up to try and see if I could bring him into the game thing, which he would have been over on this side. But that's no problem. I was at my 2-hour mark anyway. And I
heard you say you were at your 2-hour mark and you were getting ready to wrap it up, and then that's when I saw
Michael came up. I got the notification. Says, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Okay, let me just hop on here because I just started. I had my coffee. I haven't had any breakfast. It's getting close to lunchtime and stuff. But how you doing, Michael?"
We're doing great. Now, did we get the picks in this week?
No, you're ahead of me there. I'm just bringing up the thing. I need to get your picks there, my friend.
Did you get Ted's picks?
Yeah, I got Ted's. I got Ted's and Tony's. They were right out of the gate Monday. Tim sent me his last night. I DM'd you. You got my DM, though.
Well, the Thursday game I lost because there was no way I was going to pick the
Yeah,
Patriots.
but are you getting my DMs I send you, though?
I'm sorry, buddy. I and please don't take this the wrong way. I get so many DMs.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. No problem.
But you know what I need to do with you is I need to do what Tony does, is that when you come up or on air, I get a notification. And I find that I'm better with that. And I need to do that with Ted as well.
Well, see, unless you got me notified on your Twitch, you probably, because I stick strictly to Twitch.
Ted,
I don't do the...
Ted, can I ask you a weird question?
Go ahead.
Okay. What do you think's going on with Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
What is going on there? Is he hurt? They're saying that he's got the flu.
I don't know. I mean, and we'll just say this much. It could be the C word. It could be that.
You mean like crazy?
No, the other C word. And
curvaceous.
I don't want to get you flagged on your, on your broadcast because I don't know how this stuff works anymore.
So you can't say concussed?
You got to be careful on certain words there, I guess, is what Ted's saying, Michael.
Well, on football broadcasts, it's used all the time.
Oh, okay.
All the time. So I'm not too worried. And I'm not swearing on my broadcast yet.
Yeah. Well, there's just certain. I don't know. I know where Ted's going with this as far as that goes. Because you're on YouTube, and the things for YouTube is a little bit more stricter than Twitch.
Well, let's bring that up because there's a lesson there.
Yeah.
So there's certain words, and I know that was the same when we used to have this
algorithm,
thing. It was like a pandemic kind of thing we had.
Yeah.
And if you said certain words, that they would go, whoa. Yeah. It would go
you
back.
Say it. Next thing you know, flag.
Yep. Yeah. But
I said something on one of my broadcasts.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I get this message from YouTube like, "Hey, buddy, we pulled this broadcast." And I click on the I'm like, "What?" And I click on it, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, someone." Made a comment about whatever, and then she wouldn't stop.
Right.
She just started rambling on about it.
No.
Someone from the Netherlands. And
well, they're not worried about it.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
Was kind of feeling funny about, okay, I need you to stop. And I just said, okay, this one is... And instead of flushing it, I didn't, and flag.
You picked it up afterwards. Yeah, that'll happen.
Did you get a strike?
Oh, I got a strike.
I never got a strike.
I got a strike.
Ever.
I've gotten a warning before, but I've not yet. I'm like with Michael. I've never gotten a strike.
Yep.
So Rich, if you're in a conversation with someone and you're upset with them, do you do this? You go, "I'm giving you a warning."
It depends on the level. If they've been in my broadcast before, I think for the most part, I'm very lucky to have the people that are in my chat and stuff like
Yeah.
that because they know. I've been on for a number as like Ted, and I really appreciate Ted because I know Ted's on the train listening to me, and I think that's great as far as a broadcaster. It's like, yeah, I got someone down in the city going in from Long Island, listen to me, and stuff like that. And I will anybody coming in as a first time chatter because they have to. My Twitch is set up to where they come in and it's flagged as a first time chatter. I don't know that person. I'm keeping I'm keeping an eye on them. And depending on how they come in, you can tell whether they're there just to bust at chops or whatever. And depending on the level, because I've had attacks where I've actually had the worst case scenario, 2 individuals coming in threatening my family.
Oh, wow.
That's the worst case. That's I'm not afraid of that. But you know what I'm going to do? They're blocked and banned right out the gate.
You know what? It's funny you bring that up. That's very common. If you've been doing this for a while, you're going to have that. And the bigger you get, the more you're going to get of that. You're going to also get the admiration and all this other stuff. Some people will even ask you about your background.
Yeah, which I'm very
in your broadcast.
I'm very skewed on opening up that window on a broadcast and stuff. Where if I'm in the back room, like with Ted and you, I've known you for a number of years. There's certain things I can say in the green room and stuff that I would never say in this forum right now and stuff. And that's just being cautious and stuff like that.
And respectful of the host. And the people in the room and your family.
Yeah.
So last night you had a beautiful background, Ted. Was that a different part of your house, or what was that?
That was upstairs.
Yeah. Some people in that broadcast thought that was a code word.
What?
Yeah, they even brought it up right after. I went, "That's a beautiful back." Yeah, and they went, "Is that a code word?"
Really? Yeah. Really? I didn't take that. I just thought.
No, I heard them say it. They went, "Is that a code word?"
I thought Ted was on vacation again and coming in from the hotel or something.
Oh, those are the best videos. Oh, yeah. Music pumping.
I'm just going to be on for a little bit, okay? Yeah. Okay, the missus is just sitting down.
Tell her we say hi and we send her much love.
Michael and Ted said hi. She's
Cesar, how you doing?
Yeah. Ted says Cesar. Yeah. What is that? That's a leftover chicken parmesan?
My mouth is full.
Oh yeah, your mouth is full.
It's so great when Rich is broadcasting in the morning and Mrs. Roberts just chimes in.
Yeah,
it's so great. It's like it's so authentic.
That's a new aspect that just came about and evolved, and it's like you love it. The other people in the chat love it. So she has no. Yeah, but I don't like her on camera.
Real life. It's real life.
Yeah.
It is real life.
It's real life. Yeah. So Lamar Jackson, we're not going to use that word. We had a little segment there on.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen there? Because I think he has the ability to take it all if he gets hot.
I like to see him play a full season.
You know what's funny? You bring that up because
I like to see him play a full season.
They say he's never played December.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, if you pull up his career stats, you'll see 11 games, 12 games.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? So, we're all for these players who play this violent sport getting paid as much as they can get paid because no guarantee, there's only a handful of guaranteed contracts. But when all that belly aching was happening last year,
that was awful. That was awful.
And you play 11 games a season and and you're lights out in the regular season, but in the playoffs, when when a defensive coordinator sends a spy to sit there on top of you and you can't do what you usually do.
Yeah.
I think he's an incredibly gifted athlete, though.
Yes.
And I think he's an individual that could probably benefit from some coaching, maybe life coaching of some sort. And it's funny because I watched today this beautiful interview, and it was Is it Bijan Robinson? Am I saying that right? Or Benjon?
Bijan.
Bijan. Okay, because
Mhm.
some people are saying it's Benjon now,
Oh, okay.
and in I guess certain broadcasters they've said you can't say it the other way. It's ridiculous. But here's the thing. He was talking about depression.
Yeah.
He was talking about playing injured. He was talking about the pressures of being on social media. And he said he was with a doctor and he was talking to a couple of older backs that were in the league who suffered insane medical problems after playing. Within 5 years, they were literally almost crippled. And the depression that came on, and not being able to manage money. And I think they need to school these athletes and say, this is how much you make. This is how much the government takes. This is the window of how long you play.
Yep.
If you present yourself in a certain way, you are going to make insane money through the endorsements. Maybe more. It's like you were saying the other day about Patrick Mahomes and the commercials he's doing. Is it State Farm? I think it's State Farm agent,
Yep.
right?
State Farm. Yep.
And they're
Yep.
like, and it's like, yeah, like the burger. That is something I'll remember now forever. Is him being on the commercials.
Yeah.
And then you have, I think Travis, I wouldn't be shocked if he wants to be in like an action hero.
Do you know how many commercials I've seen him in the last 24 to 48 hours? I've seen him in anywhere from half a dozen to a dozen different commercials. He's on the commercial scene as much as Mahomes.
Yeah,
but
I think it's because of Mahomes. He's branching off, and you can see it's really.
He wants
and even
to
the
retire.
ESPN. Yeah.
The rumor's really strong now that he is ready to retire.
Smart.
I think there's this woman, Swift Taylor, something billionaire equals early retirement. Ted, if we had a billionaire girlfriend who went, I'd really like you to be around more.
They say that's a genuine
well.
relationship. It's a genuine relationship as far as what I'm hearing. Yeah.
As long as there's no prenup, I'm in.
I'm
fully in.
If you're heading towards your mid-30s and you're playing this violent sport,
yes,
and you can still walk around like how we walk around, meaning, and this is for the viewers, when you get a minute, go back to the 100th NFL anniversary when during the Super Bowl they announced all the living players that come out.
Yeah.
Like 60% of them could barely walk.
Yeah. Last night on your broadcast, Tony D was talking about he'd like to be a pilot. He would have liked to have been a pilot, and I sort of chimed in on the chat. And I don't think they got the context of that. That in my career in the Air Force, before I met the missus, I tried to cross train into a pararescue position, which is it's a very intense position in the Air Force. And the reason I didn't get that was because of my eyes. And I found out years later I could have challenged that and became one. But the second chat message that I posted, I said, the man upstairs had a different path for me.
Yes.
Because if I would have gone into that job, which I could have probably gone into it, but I had an assignment to go back over to Korea at the time because there's some other things involved in that. But the crutch of the story is, if I would have went in and became a pararescue, given the contingencies that went down, I would be here today. Or else I would have been so crippled up because pararescue, they go down behind enemy lines and they rescue the downed pilots that are there.
Right.
And I've talked to a couple of chopper pilots that used to fly pararescues, and they said, Rich, this one, his call sign is Kilroy. He used to fly with the presidential helicopter for President Clinton. And he's down south now with his son who's flying helicopters down there for a major company. But anyway, he told me, he says, Rich, you're lucky that you did, because he has contact with all these past people that were PJs. He says you wouldn't believe they were young, strong, and bold and stuff, but they're just their knees are shot, they're crippled, and it's just like you would have been one of those guys. So I look back on that, and then this is what Michael's saying. Mahomes is looking at, or Kelsey's looking at. He's at the age to where
he's in pain
I'm
now.
still walking.
He's in
pretty
pain
good.
now.
Well, yeah,
Both him and his brother
that's no
have
doubt.
talked about
Right.
the pain that they have,
Yeah.
and that it's daily and it doesn't stop. It affects your family life and everything else. And how much money do you need?
Right.
And I think he has aspirations of being an actor. I really do. I think he wants to be on the big screen.
I think he can. What I've seen on the commercials, I think he's very well versed as far as it's going to be on the comedy side. Sort of like a
right.
rock type.
Him and his brother have the #1 podcast right now
Yep.
in sports entertainment. It was number 8 for the longest time, and then this woman, Swift Taylor, something Swifties, said we need to make it #1, and they decided together one day. We know nothing about football,
Boom.
but we are going to follow this
You got the-
just to see if there's a nugget of where he mentions, "I love Taylor."
Right to the top.
That's all it takes.
That's probably what kicked it.
I'm
going
going
to
to ask you another question that
yeah.
isn't as goofy, and they're going to try to end this around an hour. Okay, here we go. Justin Fields, is he done?
No.
So your question, is he done? Is he done with Chicago, or is he done with the
Is
NFL?
he done? Is he done? Is he not going to make it? Is he going to be one of these guys that's going to end up being a backup somewhere? Like him being a first-tier quarterback, are those days done? Or are there going to be a couple more teams that'll give him a shot? He's not even running the way he did last year.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I think he'll get another chance.
That's true.
Okay. I'm going to
Yeah.
say something you guys aren't going to like, but I've been saying this for a while,
Mhm.
and I know Richard likes this coach, and we talked about him earlier, and I
Uh-oh.
said that he was a menace to Buffalo,
Uh-oh.
and that he was a tyrant. Hello, sir. How are you? Do you have your glasses on now? Are things getting foggy? No, that's the thing. If you give people enough rope, they'll hang themselves sooner or later. I really believe, and I love Josh Allen. Love him. I hope he goes to another team. Or they have to clean house. And I don't think that organization is strong enough to be able to harness a team fast. I don't think they can do it. Like, imagine if he'd been in New York.
Well, look how long
Either
it took
team.
them to
Either
get
team.
to where they're at after Kelly,
Yeah.
after Jim Kelly. It took them a number of years. That's the last glory days
Okay,
for Buffalo.
I'm gonna go ahead.
We
Sorry.
still, we still need to do your picks before we go, just as a
Sure.
reminder there, because I got you.
Well,
here. I got the
in
list
room
up.
too if we want.
Yeah.
The
That doesn't
Oh,
sound
okay,
right.
that's
folks,
true.
but- Okay,
Mike,
now
No.
go ahead.
the misuse of Josh Allen
Yes.
by Buffalo. It's egregious.
You and I are the only two that think that.
How
in
is he
every
doing
way.
this?
They-
How is
they
he
expect
getting
way
these
too much
things?
from him.
90% of the offense, Rich.
It's
He's
awful.
90%. His
I
legs,
think that he.
his arms.
I think, yeah, I don't think that's. I think that's more Josh Allen than
he
it
would
is
have been a hell
coming
of a
from the
tight
coaching
end.
staff.
No shit.
No, I think he's a
but
better
I'm saying
quarterback.
he has the physical.
Well,
he
before
plows through people.
do you know what he did in college? Do you know what he did at college? What his
No.
record? They got him primarily because he could throw the ball over
Yeah.
70 yards on target, and that was the big thing. As far as that goes, they love him up in Buffalo. As far as the coach thing, I'm still looking because I get daily reports from the Spectrum News, and then they have a bit on the local Buffalo fan base. I never hear anything bad about the coach. I always hear good stories about the coach. So I'm a little complexed about this. He's a tyrant.
not.
in
It's
this
all
manner
over
of
the net
speaking.
this
It's just
week. And
well, I'm going to have to dig a little deeper, I guess.
He also said some very inappropriate things, which we already talked about in the broadcast.
Okay, yeah. Well, I could see a coach doing that, no matter what they're good or bad. They because there's been some coaches that have been really great coaches. They've literally put their foots in their
Okay,
mouths.
so Gardner Minshew,
Oh,
is he now made it where he can be a starter for some team? Maybe even because we all know that when Anthony comes back, Richardson, he's top tier.
he's a hell of
gonna
a
be-
backup.
Oh, he's got so much excitement and passion for the game, and you can tell the guys love him. And that's a lot of it. You got to
Every
have the
team
leadership.
loves their backup. The backup is like the most most loved
Explain
player
that.
in the locker room.
Yeah. Is Joshua Dobbs going to be better this week?
Hope so.
We'll see. He has a potential. He has shown that he can be
Yes.
a great quarterback.
You want to talk about great quarterbacks for at least one game? You ready? Jake Browning.
Oh,
Jake Browning. All right.
Yeah.
How the hell did the Bengals? It was almost too good to be true. It seemed like some corny script that someone wrote.
you said the script.
He just came on the team just less than a week ago, I guess, right? Is that the story?
Well,
Where
no,
he
he's
wasn't
been
on
part
the team.
of the
They just-
organization for years. Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay,
they've always
okay,
said he
because-
had a calm demeanor, but the first week he went on, he wasn't adjusted to the pace of the game. It's very different in a practice.
Mhm.
You gotta have balls of steel. You really do to be a quarterback. When you've got these giant, freakishly strong men coming at you at great rates of speed, and keep your composure to know that I need to pass it to this guy over his shoulder and throw it in a bread box, which is his hands.
Right.
You got a text there, buddy? No, Ted.
No.
No, I'm just checking something. Just checking something. I don't know. I just think when you got to think about it with some of these guys that come in and no one is game planned for them, they're gonna have a breakout game. I want to see
Yeah.
the following week
Yeah.
when they finally have tape and the D coordinator
Yeah.
is looking at, okay, here's what this quarterback does well, is where we can exploit them, and the game plan for them.
It's funny you say that because Patrick Mahomes, as much as they looked at the tape, you never knew what the hell he was going to do.
Right.
And it was the same with Lamar Jackson when he was scrambling. You had a rough time, and one of the quarterbacks that doesn't get enough. Well, partly because he just got back is Kyler Murray, right?
Yeah.
Like the Cardinals look half decent now with him in.
Oh
He's
yeah, he's
crazy
scrambling and stuff. Yeah,
dangerous.
definitely. Yeah. There's a ESPN article here just to sort of highlight Jake Browning. Bengals quarterback Jake Browning has no plans to be a one-hit wonder. So that right there saying that this kid is driven to perform or try to at least perform up to that level and stuff. And he impressed me in that Thursday night game. I just I went to bet it, and I thought for sure since he was going to lose. I woke up the next morning. I was like, oh wow, they won.
So
And everybody took a hit on that game as far as I think except Tim Fan 40. He's the only one that picked New England.
Right.
So it makes me wonder. And even watching it before going to bed, the bank. Well, was it they? As far as New England looked a lot different in that game than the previous game. So I'm just wondering if they're not going to go anywhere for the. Even if they win the next 5 games, I don't think they're going to make the
I
playoffs,
don't remember
but,
a time with so many backups.
Yeah, well, that's
Right.
true too. Well, any team. Look at all the backup quarterbacks throughout the NFL right now. It's. I think you said something about
Yeah,
that
I was
a while back.
I was kind of half
far as the quarterback.
jokingly saying that. I had no idea that the backup's backup was going to be a backup of that backup. Like and we're gonna bring this guy in. Wait, we're gonna cut him. And then we're gonna bring back the guy that we shamed. and then we're going to tell everybody that he doesn't even want to play.
Such a crappy organization.
Like, poor Zach. What
A
the like?
crappy organization.
Oh, and he's a
the Jets,
good
yeah.
gentleman, like kind. You can tell he's good. They have told I don't care who you are, you do not want to listen to the shit that comes out of New York's mouth.
Nope.
They are lethal.
There was the beginning of the season that they had so much potential with Aaron coming in. I thought for sure this is going to be the year they
should he come back in.
I don't think this year.
He
maybe
will
next
if he
year
can,
if
because
he's
his
still with
ego
your.
won't stop. He has to be in the limelight. I'm sorry. I like him. Yeah. I like 90% of what he does, but I think he has this monstrosity ego that has to be on there. And I think he knows he has a limited amount of time.
That and that access to that Pat McAfee microphone on Tuesdays.
Yes.
And to sit there and pontificate on ESPN as they stream it across 7 or 8 different networks.
Wow.
And
crazy.
play it all day long.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
He has the audience. He has an audience on that. Yeah.
Joe Flacco. Right.
Flacco.
Joe Flacco. What is the proper way to say it?
Flacco.
Joe Flacco. Now he was Flacco. With the Jets, right?
Yep.
So why wouldn't we have a marriage of 2 40-year-old? Like, that makes sense. And he throws still really well. And he is calm in the pocket. I thought he did insanely well up until the last 5 minutes. He was amazing. Like, I was shocked. I thought he was gonna live on his ass. I really did.
There was a story about Joe Flacco. When I hear his name, it always comes up when he was with Baltimore and they won the Super Bowl. And the next year, he was skateboarding outside his yard, outside his house, or I don't know, neighbors or whatever. And he almost got injured, and he got really raked over the coals for doing that. He says, "You're not supposed to be doing that. You're too valuable," and stuff. But you look at him now, and it's like,
got a great arm.
He was on top of the. Yeah, he's
that's
still a good quarterback.
At 40, that's
he's still a good
phenomenal.
quarterback. Yeah.
Okay.
No, he's 38. 38.
You sure about that?
Yep, I'm looking at the Joe Flacco on the Google right now. Age 38, January 16th, 1995. Because
I thought he was 40. Okay.
Yeah, no, he's close.
He's closer to 40. Okay, so Geno Smith, is he done? Because he shows moments of fucking greatness. He was unbelievable with the Cowboys.
He's going to continue to excel in Seattle's offense. In that system, he'll excel.
Okay.
With those wideouts,
and the system will either make him or break him, Ted.
You notice we're only doing quarterbacks right now. Yeah. Jalen Hurts. What's his story? I love him as a human being.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, he's hurt right now, though. I don't care what anybody says.
So was Mahomes when they won his Super Bowls too in the past. So it's like I think he knows what's at the end of the because what the prize is, and unless he gets like an Aaron Rodgers. Well, then again, you were saying Aaron Rodgers, was it a fake?
No, I didn't say that.
I don't know. Oh, who said that? Somebody said that.
The media is saying there's no way.
Oh, that's right.
No way that he can. It's impossible. He had a slight tear.
Because of the comeback, right? Yeah, right. Yeah, I think that was on Tony's broadcast or Belkeen's fantasy.
Well, don't blame Tony. Okay, here we go.
No, I just say it came up in conversation among us and stuff like that. It's just like
remember.
No, that's an example for the viewers who've been watching. Okay, so Dak Prescott. Let's end with that, and then we'll do gratitude and head our ways. Dak Prescott. Okay, let's do that. What does that mean? Is that
regular season? Dak is going to excel. in the playoffs, we got to see him do it.
Whole different ball
I
game.
thought he only did
Whole
well
different
with
ballgame.
teams that were under 500. No, I statistically that is what I heard. Or they do better when they're playing on home field advantage. They've done very well that way too. But when they're on the road, if it isn't a 500 or less team, they have a rough time. But let's be real. How many teams are really in the running? Who do you think, Ted? Who do you think's in the running? This shouldn't take long.
For MVP, I'm sorry.
For a chance to win the Super Bowl this year. I think there's 5 teams that have a chance, personally.
Eagles,
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys. No, excuse me. Eagles,
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs,
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm gonna say Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
And then them boys. Cowboys.
The boys.
That 5th spot, it could be a crapshoot on anybody. Really, what's right behind those first 4? I would agree with Ted.
Mathematically, can the Texans win?
I like them.
No, but I mean, if they win every game from now, do they have a chance?
Yeah, I think they're leading their division, aren't they?
I think they're second.
Standings.
Is Buffalo done?
No, Texans are 3rd. You got Jaguars, Colts, and
Right.
Colts and Texans are the same, 7 and 5.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but in the American American North League, you got Ravens, of course, but they got the Browns and Steelers. They're at 7 and 5.
Yeah.
Steelers are 7 and 5, 7 and 6.
The Browns are imploding though, buddy. There's something going on there. It's really bad.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there.
But there's.
What do you think, Ted? Do you follow the Browns at all?
Not so much after Deshaun got derailed.
Yeah.
You know, I still think it's the North is still the Ravens to
Oh yeah.
lose.
To win. I think they've got the division. I agree. Yeah.
Fireman Rich, quickly.
Yes.
5 teams you think have a chance?
I'll agree with. I'm going to make it is I'll agree with what Ted said on those first 4. The 5th one, like I said, it could be a crapshoot depending on how it lines up as far as that goes. So that's a question mark. That 5th spot is a question mark. The 4 that Ted said I think are solid. My overall pick for the Super Bowl is going to probably be the Eagles, maybe beating out the Chiefs.
Okay. So I right now I'm saying 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Second, I would say maybe Miami.
You got that? You had to bring
Maybe Miami.
Their question.
And Ravens. I have a really good feeling about the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
And never underestimate Pat Mahomes.
No.
He's one guy that can win it for you.
No.
So what are we at? We're about 5 there, aren't we? So was that 5? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think Miami's going to come on. I have a weird feeling
They could be a spoiler. They have the tools to be a definite spoiler.
Yeah.
When it comes to it.
Well, imagine right now if they had never gotten rid of Tyreek Hill, but he got his he did some weird shit even there. No, it was more than that. There was weird stuff.
It was some weird stuff also.
Yeah.
It was some weird stuff
going on.
And the guy who was the running back previously that was ill, and he was the running back for.
I don't know enough to talk about it, but there was whispers of weird stuff.
No, there's some really weird stuff.
The stuff you could be incarcerated for. So you
Oh,
don't.
really? Ooh.
Oh yeah, and he's got a violent past. He's got a violent past.
Google.
I don't want that on my Google search. No. I just hear it from you guys. It's like I understand.
And there's a video.
Yeah.
There's a video, and you're just like, oh, come on.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah, and
One of those
he
bonehead-
assaulted
oh my
someone at a
God.
boat. Remember that? That was last summer or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's assaulted someone.
I thought he just had a big mouth on his.
No, and there's
because,
no.
Kareem Hunt.
he-
Remember
Yes.
Kareem Hunt?
Yeah,
okay.
He's another one
yeah.
who just did
Wow.
crazy
But
stuff.
here's the thing: when you get so engulfed in your ego and that persona, that whatever that is, that you think you're great,
That's
you
where
start
you
to
need
look.
the light.
You start to lose perspective of what other individuals are in your life, and you look at them as pawns.
That's where you need an individual life coach
Yeah.
to grab you by the scruff of the neck and say, "Hey," and
Yeah.
kick you in the boot. You need to be doing this differently and stuff.
Yeah.
That's that. I don't,
Great show, guys. Listen, let's do quick gratitude. Tell us
Can I make one last comment? I know
You
we're
can.
beyond the
Yeah,
the
that's
point.
okay. That's okay.
At work, one of my former coworkers and I
Yeah.
used to talk after every time there was a specific incident or event,
Yeah.
and
Right.
we would always talk about becoming handlers for
Okay.
these professional athletes. And I said,
Yeah.
whoever runs that division
Yeah.
is going to be a billionaire because they're always doing something stupid.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
all I want to say.
yeah.
No, and you look at big stars,
Hmm.
right?
Same.
Right? You remember we used to watch the Crosby Show,
Yeah,
and we used to think that was just rosy, and then we find out there were people handling
yes,
Bill's activities.
yes.
So we don't
Yeah,
know. We don't have a clue of what's going on. And the NFL, trust me, does not want to tarnish that money-making billion, trillion probably someday, making business yearly. It spawns so many things. Think about
Yep.
it. And it's religion, literally religion in a lot of colleges, you know? It's like the money they're paying coaches in college now.
It's crazy.
Right. And the scandals that you hear even within that.
Yeah.
I just block. I can only handle so much weirdness. So I just kind of,
Yeah.
you know. So what are we currently grateful for? Who wants to go first?
I'm grateful for my family during the holiday season and just waking up today and just having all my faculties and everything
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
You know, it's just the necessary things that you need.
Yep.
Yeah. Everything's a gift. Well said, my friend. Well said. Beautiful. Fireman Rich.
Always grateful for the missus. Who allows me to do this.
I almost said
You
it.
know?
I almost said it. I almost said it while you said it. Go ahead.
But no, I'm grateful. I guess this last week, the main thing is the work that we had done Thursday. That knocked on wood, nothing. There was a little blurb there with an inspector who was a bonehead, but that was rectified and stuff. You know, as far as I'm really thankful for the life that I do have and stuff because as far as the point I'm at, I'm grateful having you guys being part of my daily life almost because seeing you guys, hearing you guys. I look forward to talking with you. It's a pleasure to come up here as far as on your broadcaster, Michael, as always and stuff. And it keeps it with that all. I'm grateful with all that I just said. It keeps me grounded to be the better person that I'm trying to be than when I was like 30 years ago when I met the missus. You guys would have hated me. I keep on saying that because I laugh at it now because I was such a bonehead when I was and we talk about these young football players. And I never had the money, but I thought I was a badass, and I look back at it, it's like I could have. It's just such a waste. So thank you very much, Michael.
Oh, my pleasure. I would love to thank our fearless leader. His name is Tony D. And he has kept us in the circle of greatness that we know.
Got to mention Tony.
And is there any else? Brian helps us out.
Brian.
Yeah.
Brian's a good person.
Brian
Yes.
he is good dude. Good dude. Yes.
Tim
Very-
Brown has been helping us out. Are we
Yep.
going to see you tomorrow, Ted? By the way, are you going to be able to make an appearance on this
I
thing?
will make an appearance tomorrow. Well, but hey, question is, I don't think tomorrow's going to happen.
Yeah, it might not happen, Michael.
Okay.
Tony said not available. He said he would be available today.
Today
Yeah.
sometime.
Yes.
Because he's doing some overtime tomorrow.
He's got a hot date tomorrow. Is that what it's going
No,
on?
he's doing overtime at the job.
He's
site.
laying pipe all night long.
No.
Come on.
He's working, man. He's working. Come on. No. He's
Come on.
He said it.
Come on.
He's turning the wrench on aircraft.
Okay, you can take that
So-
many ways. All right.
Yeah.
So as long as he's flying high and feeling good, I'm happy for him. Whatever he does in his time, it's his time. And we appreciate your time, everybody who's here today. Please subscribe, like, share, and if you can, check out the content of these two individuals who are okay. They're okay with me, and
We
I
try
think
to be.
I think they'll be okay. They'll be okay with you too. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend, folks.